This episode of the Only Kings podcast is brought to you by OrganicPricedBooks.com. Guys, there hasn't been a better time to start comic collecting, let alone get into the omnibus game. They have a wide and growing selection of books shipping now, as well as highly anticipated pre-orders, such as the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5 Omnibus, priced at $125, discounted to $80. Enter my promo code KING at checkout for an extra discount. Again, enter promo code KING for an extra discount on top of the 36 to 40% they are already offering. OrganicPricedBooks.com, promo code KING. Now back to the show.
What? Hey, buddy.
Hey, no.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I made it out.
One of the most handsome motherfuckers I know is finally on the podcast. Thank you for coming. When's the last time you were in Albuquerque?
Oh, man. It must have been 2013,
Jesus
14.
Christ.
I
So
don't miss the place.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. So you're in Houston now, right?
Well, I'm from Katy, which is like right outside Houston. And people like to say, you're not from Houston, bro, you're from Katy. But like everyone says they're from Houston, even if they're from like the small surrounding areas.
So what's the population of Katy?
It is made up of white suburban moms who do Xanax.
How many people live there?
How many people? Maybe like 15, 20,000.
Oh, shit.
I really could not tell you.
There's fucking nothing.
No.
Do you like it there? How far are you from Houston itself?
30 minutes.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
That's fucking easy.
It's easy as fuck. But great whiskey, by the way.
Yeah, Bullet's fucking awesome. Funny thing, so, as you know, I've been doing a lot of training and shit, and one thing that I keep thinking about, and I can't remember who you roasted in our group chat like 2 years ago.
It must have been all of them.
Yeah, you roasted somebody in our group chat like 2 years ago, because someone was like, how did you get, because you got super fit, like out of nowhere.
I wouldn't say out of nowhere.
Well, to everyone else, it was fucking out of nowhere. You got super fit. And one of us brought it up, and you just went on this fucking rant. And you're like, you can't fucking dedicate yourself to anything. You're a fat piece of shit. You're a slob.
Was it you?
No, probably. And you just fucking went down this thing. And so now when I'm working, I'm like, he's right. I didn't dedicate myself to shit. I had to keep going. So when did you start getting serious about your health?
Well, the first time I started like lifting, like by myself for my own goals, was like freshman year of college. Yeah, that was like the best time for weightlifting in my life. It was 2015 through 2016. I put on like the freshman 30.
Yeah.
You know, I started doing like steroids, like creatine, stuff like that. That's like everyone's favorite steroid. But it was great because like because I was up in Michigan, Calvin College. Great school, by the way. Go Knights. I was about to call it a mess hall. Thank you, knew me. But the cafeteria, it was like basically 6 a.m. to 6 to 10 p.m. And dude, you could just load yourself up. Just eat whatever the fuck you want. And if you missed a meal during the day, like if you slept until like 12, as I like sometimes did, you could pick up like a bagel, just fucking smother that bitch in cream cheese and butter at like 10 p.m. And that was your like before sleep meal.
Right.
It was absolutely gas.
So has your goals changed from then to now regarding fitness?
Well, to some degree, yeah.
So what were you trying to attain back then?
Back then, I wanted to like look good.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants to do the freshman year of college. But now with like kind of my fitness goals, it's more in line with functional training, which like basically means I want to go into like a specific organization that has specific physical guidelines you need to meet.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you want to get there, you gotta just destroy your body along the way.
So what key movements are at the foundation of your training regimen right now?
Basically, the only one is like the kettlebell snatch.
Okay.
because like the Secret Service snatch test. Obviously, it's one of the.
I mean, I've never even fucking heard of that. That's funny.
You have to do 100 snatches with a 24-kilogram dumbbell in 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Jamie, pull that shit up. What is 24 kilograms to pounds? 52 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And that's that crazy shit that Rogan does, right? With the fucking, just like,
Oh yeah, dude.
like
Rogan's all about them kettlebell movements.
good God, yeah, I've seen that shit. So what is a diet look like for you right now when you're not fucking off and eating Whataburger and drinking whiskey?
Diet is seafood, pretty much. Like I seafood, I eat it. It's been like, I remember 2 weeks ago I had 2 bowls of Chipotle for a week, like a day, for a week straight. And dude, Chipotle is like the move. So you get extra rice, free. Extra beans, free. Extra chicken, that's free. That's not free. You gotta pay like $1 extra. So you're getting like a solid like 4,000 calories from that.
Jesus Christ.
So you're eating just so much.
See, so you're, okay, so 4,000 calories in a day or 4,000 calories in a bowl?
Maybe it's like 1,500 to 2,000 calories from the bowl.
Okay, so about 4,000 a day.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No,
Fuck,
it's
man.
so bad. I don't even think it's healthy.
Well, I mean, that's what I was doing at the beginning of the year when I decided to start training, like, and actually give a fuck. My initial diet, it went from 2,700 a day to 33, and eventually clocked to 3,800.
But I mean, you're not like a huge guy.
Yeah, well, so at the beginning of the year, really from December of last year to about March, April of this year, maybe even May, I was clocking in at about 195. Definitely the heaviest I've ever been. And I got a lot of fucking strength with it, so that was nice. I was fat ass. Then COVID started happening, and gyms shut down everywhere. And all the insanity happens.
That was amazing.
It was just fucked up.
Everyone was just scalping the fuck out of weights.
Oh my god, I remember looking at, like, you know those dumbbell sets? Like, you put the bar...
The adjustable ones.
The adjustable ones, yeah.
Yep.
So they were selling for $4,000 on Amazon.
$4,000.
By Bowflex. Bowflex knocked up their prices to $4,000 on Amazon. I shit you not.
See, I don't think that was like Bowflex, because I know what you're talking about.
I think it is Bowflex. Hey, can you pull that up real quick? Dumbbells on Amazon?
Because I know there was like a huge market for dumbbells, like just privately, through resellers / scalpers. Because my buddy told me every morning he would go up to Walmart, he would load his truck up with just weights. He would sell them for double profit. All of them. So, if you're looking for weights, don't hit up my man, Barry.
Look up adjustable dumbbells. Just go back to Amazon and look up adjustable dumbbells. See what it pulls up. And I shit you not, I saw this shit for like $4,200. It is absolutely fucking insane. Yeah, exactly. Those are these got right there.
$550.
So okay, right now they're at $550, $750, $600, and before the pandemic, those cost what, $250, if that.
See, the thing is with like Amazon, you can have like just third-party sellers who can have the same like listings up just for crazy jacked up prices.
That's still shitty as fuck.
It's the same thing for like PS5s. Those are great. Thank you, Sony. Thank you, Sony.
You piece of shit. Yeah, how the fuck are you getting your hands on those, by the way? What's the secret?
So, it's like a long and kind of difficult process to kind of go through. So, it's basically an automated checkout software. It's a sneaker bot.
I'd say it's a bot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you had to like guess, how much would you say someone would pay for like this automated checkout software?
So, well, I remember you actually telling me at one point you paid like $500 for one of them and like $4K for another.
Well, I didn't pay $4K for anything. I would never. Shit, I almost paid $4K for my bike. But so just like anything else, it's a huge market for it. So let's take like the PS5s for example. So there was a bot called Prism. Like the name of the bot is called Prism. Before like the huge PS5 craze where people were selling them for like 200% profit, Prism did not have a like target Best Buy, Walmart module. So they had other modules for like foot sites like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Champ Sports, Eastbay, stuff like that. And they added a module for like Target, Walmart, Best Buy because they had the PS5s on there. And so with that addition of that module, the resale price of that bot went up like $2,000, up to $4,000, which is crazy. But the price increase itself is justified, like completely. Let's say you buy like 10 PS5s using that bot. You just made like probably $5,000 from that.
Jesus Christ. So the PS5 is going for what, $500, right?
Well, like the digital is, retail on the digital is like 500, maybe 400. Retail on the digital is $400. Retail on the disc version is $500.
As a fucking street price average of $1,000.
Yep.
And then digital is $990.
And it's actually great. So on the right hand side, like you see the StockX link.
Yeah.
So StockX is like a marketplace it's based with like shoes, like Jordans, Yeezy, like for retail, stuff like Supreme and stuff like that. But they added PS5s to there. It's basically like eBay. You can like bid for stuff like that.
Right.
StockX, like the most legit, authentic marketplace. But they added PS5s. So they got like the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. They've got like video cards, like GPUs, just so you can establish like a market kind of price for them.
Okay. What I thought was funny talking about eBay was PS5s come out and like 3 months later, like no, maybe not even a month later, people were reselling the box that it comes in on
See, that's
eBay.
just like a scam.
Yeah, they sell the box on eBay, and it literally says PS5 box, and they list for $500, and dumb motherfuckers went and bought it.
See, that's actually like kind of dumb on their part, because if they have it listed on like the video game / consoles, that's like an invalid listing, and eBay can like return the money to the buyer. It's super easy.
So returning money to the buyer, they take it out of the fucking person's account? Do they have the ability to do that?
Well, it's just like anything else. If you get scammed for an item, like we did with the PS5 box, they're going to take the money from the seller, who kind of scammed the person, return it to the buyer, and then just either terminate or ban the person's selling account.
Jesus Christ. That's a little scary, being able to go into somebody's bank account on principle.
Well, I wouldn't say so. It's like if you get scammed for something, let's say you want to buy yourself this really cool Funko Pop, and the dude just sends you a box. Like,
Well, I would think those returns would come out of eBay itself. They would have to have insurance for that, rather than taking the money from the actual. Yeah, ban that person's account, flag their card, do what you gotta do.
well, it wouldn't be specifically out of their bank account; it would be out of their PayPal, because that's like the third-party payment vendor they use.
So okay, that makes sense. I've only used eBay like a little bit, so that makes sense.
I barely use it anymore. Like a couple times I've used it was for so like recently the U.S. Mint released this coin. It's like the 75th anniversary World War II edition coin, and retail price was $70, and I'll let you guess like the resale value for it.
Probably closer to $300-$400.
Like $1,200.
Jesus.
Can you pull that up real quick? The 75th edition World War II coin.
Silver. There's gonna be a gold coin that retails for like $2,000. Guess the resale. Silver. Yep.
Good God.
And there's a gold edition of that coin going for $2,000 retail. What would you project the resale to be?
I mean, oh my God, closer to probably $8,000.
24.
$24,000 for a fucking.
Oh, I was mistaken. It's a $2,500 coin.
Okay, why? What's the?
Okay, so what's the actual monetary value of that coin? Or is it even tender? Can you use it?
No.
No. Okay, so it's the
I mean, it's like a $1 coin. You can go buy yourself like
nothing.
fucking. How much is a quarter pounder? It's not $1, is it?
No, dude. McDonald's got rid of the fucking dollar menu.
Fuck this up.
Yep, they got rid of the dollar menu. Taco Bell got rid of all the good stuff.
Well, Taco Bell still has the good stuff, like the value menu, the bean cheese rice burrito. You trade yourself one of those coins for that. But even those coins, like the marketplace itself, is less. I guess it's less solvent, but there's like this whole grading process you have to go through for those coins. Like I sent mine to PCGS. I forget what that actually stands for, but they'll grade the coin for you based on like the purity of the metals. There's like a 70 grade, 69 grade, and a 68 grade. Like the 70 grade is going to go for like professional coin grading service. It's like the 71 that's going to go for like 12, 13, 1400 based upon the value of it to the collector. Whereas like the 68 to 69 grades are going to go for far less. But the whole marketplace for itself is crazy. Like you're a collector, but what's like the most out of like the most over retail you've paid for something? Like one of your collector's items.
Over retail. I don't know, because a lot of the things that I have upstairs, I all got it when it released, right? Or at least on a pre-order. I mean, so I guess if you were to look at my like single issue comic books, I've got a Batman from the 60s, like 65, 68.
Can we pull that up?
Yeah, okay, so you can, look up Batman, Detective Comics. I'm sorry, Detective Comics Batman, flip that around, and then it's Batman versus the Man of 1,000 Elements. The Man of 1,000 Elements.
It should be like on eBay.
Just go to images. Oh, there it is, scroll down. It's gonna be that pink one right there with the gray Batman. Keep going, yep, right there. So that's the one that I've got upstairs. And
How much did you pay for it?
oh dude, I don't know, I'd probably pay like $50.
Where'd you get it from?
Oh, I got it from a local comic book shop here. Yeah, see, so rated at 2.5 at $62. Scroll down a little bit. Oh, okay, so, that's a different comic though. So yeah, it's not a very high value comic book. I just thought it was fucking dope. And I was like, sure, why not?
Because like I know with baseball cards, Pokemon cards, you can get them graded. Is it the same thing with comic books?
Yeah, so you can get them graded at a place. So there's two different grading places. The main one is the CGC, which is the comic book grading company. And what you do is you send it to them, and yeah, exactly, CGC. And so what you do is you send it to them, and they'll give it back to you in a couple weeks. Costs like $35, and they send it back to you in this blue clearish frame.
It's encapsulated, right?
Yeah, it's completely sealed. You can't reopen it, and so it has the book, and then on top of it, it's got like fucking
like the grading.
Yeah, it's like Batman #1.
And it'll have like 10, 9, 8.5.
Yeah. It'll say what the grading is, and then it'll say like Batman #1, and it's like, okay, first appearance of Catwoman and Joker, right? And then if whatever the grading is, next to the grading on the bottom left, it'll say like there's off-white coloring on some of the pages.
Okay.
This page is torn, this is missing, there's water damage, smoke damage, whatever it is. And yeah, like, oh god, I think it was back in 2012, the drummer from System of a Down, he sold a first appearance of Superman for a retarded amount of money. I think like 1.2 mil. Oof. Yeah, I looked it up real quick. System of a Down drummer Superman comic.
Now, did he sell it or did he donate it?
He sold it to a local comic book store,
Okay.
I believe. He either sold it to a comic book store or he sold it at an auction. Okay, so he paid that much, yes, but the dude sold it too. And he owns a, yeah.
1 million for a comic book.
Yeah, and he actually owns a comic book store. I forget where it's at, but he owns a comic book store, and in the back he has like a a sectioned off room where it's all of his personal books that are of high values, like your first appearance of like Superman, Batman, Avengers, so on and so forth.
But yeah, there's a huge market for that. But going back to the PS5s, so do you have any like moral reservations about buying them with the bot and then reselling for a stupid profit? Because there seems to be a lot of backlash on the internet for that.
Oh, there's so much backlash on it.
So what do you think?
But like, I kind of think of it like the same thing I applied to like shoes, because there's a huge market for reselling shoes and stuff like that. So if you're gonna, let's take so like my favorite pair of Jordan 1s, the Jordan 1 Obsidians, they retailed for $180. The current market for them is like $600-700. So it's like a similar price markup, like $500. Yeah, those are them. They're over at Elias's. But I was only able to get those because I traded like a bunch of other Yeezys that were like less valuable to one of my buyers. He said, hey, if you give them to me at this price, I'll give you these at this price. So it was kind of like a fair transaction. But
well, because I mean I get it. Like I totally fucking get it. Like if you're gonna pay a good amount of money in the short term, but you get a huge profit in the back end of it, like, and people are willing to pay stupid prices for something they know is inflated, that's kind of on the buyer, right?
I mean, they're creating the market.
Exactly, yeah, the buyer.
If you have people that are buying, because like for a couple of my PS5s, I had like the same chance as everyone else. I think
I disagree with that.
I just pre-ordered them from Target.
But you didn't use the bot?
No.
Okay. Oh, you're fucking lucky.
And for one of them, I just like called up my local GameStop like 5 months ago. I was like, hey man, can I pre-order a PS5? And they're like, yeah man, for sure, we got you on the list. Like, for a lot of these, you have the same chance as everyone else if you're just thinking ahead. Because so it's kind of similar like with the PS4s. Because the PS4s had something similar on release, but not at all to this degree. I wasn't nowhere near expecting this to this degree.
Neither did I, because I mean everyone was bitching and moaning about how there's no money going around, everyone's broke, all these things, and then just there's no PS5s or Xboxes to be fucking found.
Oh no.
Anywhere. And I mean I remember pre-ordering the Xbox One, and I did that with ease. I actually pre-ordered it like a month after it went up, and that was super easy.
And I mean, if I have like a friend who wants a PS5, I'll tell him, hey man, I'll run you a slot on my bot and you'll be able to get a PS5 for retail. Normally, in an instance like that, so basically you're running a slot for someone. So on a bot, you need a profile, a proxy, and the item you're going for. If you use someone's specific profile, like their card information, their address, phone number, name, everything like that, you get paid like a pay after success fee, a pass. But obviously I didn't charge them a pass for that. They're just paying the retail price for the PS5 because I'm gonna hook them up,
So how many I guess to say items, you use it for shoes as well. How many items can you get with a single bot then?
It really depends on the bot, on the item itself. Let's take a look at like the most recent release. So the Jordan 1 Mocha. Jordan 1 Mocha was like one of the most anticipated releases of 2020. Because there's a rapper, Travis Scott. I'm sure you heard of him.
Travis Scott burger.
Yeah, Cactus Jack sent me. But so that is basically like an off-brand version of his variation, his interpretation of a Jordan 1. It has a reverse swoosh, and the resale on those is like $3,000-4,000. So that exact shoe, but the swoosh is reversed, like the Travis Scott Jordan 1. It's crazy. See, that one's right there. Cursor up. Yeah. That's the one. See, that's a fake site. They're buying fakes with that.
Yeah, that looks sus as fuck.
Oh no, the shoe itself, that's a real shoe.
No, the site itself looks
Poshmark?
sus as fuck.
Not reliable, would not trust. But anyways, so that was like one of the most, the Mocha, the off-brand version of the Travis Scott Jordan 1 was one of the most anticipated releases of 2020. And so there's so many damn bots out there. There's so many. Some of the top performers for the Jordan 1 Mochas were probably like Wrath, Kodai, and Cyber. Like those are the big three.
So how many do you personally own then?
Of those bots, none, because they're like 6-7K. Those are for like crazy resellers.
Good.
I wouldn't consider myself one of those crazy resellers.
So before the PS5 came out, you mainly dealt in shoes then?
Yeah, I like specifically dealt in shoes.
Yeah.
Like there were some like baseball, Pokemon cards I tried to get into, but the turnaround time on the profit was just not there. Because I had to like list them on eBay, wait for a good buyer, everything like that. Whereas shoes, they're a much more, I guess, fluid asset. They're easy to flip into cash.
So what's your turnaround time on a high dollar pair of shoes?
Well, it really depends on what I want to sell them for and what I can sell them for. Because if you analyze like the shoe market, let's take a look at like the Yeezy Breads. So before they they released in 2017. They also released in 2020. They did a re-release, and before their restock, the re-release in 2020, they were going for like $700-800. Retail is like $220. Yeah, those are them.
That is an ugly ass shoe. I am not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm not a shoe guy. I wear very basic Converse. I just take a whole lot.
Hey, they're comfortable though.
Exactly, they're comfortable.
You can't put a price on comfort.
That's fucking facts.
But what is that lettering and the numbering on that? What the fuck does that mean?
SPLY 350. I really couldn't even tell you what it means.
That is fucking...
350 is like, it's a 350. It's a Yeezy 350 V2 designed by Kanye West. So Kanye West himself put the value on that shoe.
He's an interesting guy, Kanye West. I think he
character.
I genuinely believe that he's got creative geniuses flowing through his body.
No, he's like the best producer of the 21st century.
Yeah, but he has a very difficult time getting that across. Right, his execution is like getting his points across in an articulate manner can be a challenge.
His mental state is just not really stable.
And that was prior Kardashian too.
Prior Kardashian.
Oh my god. Could you imagine living in that fucking house? That psychotic mansion of whores? Let's be honest. Like, they took down an Olympic gold medalist. Like, they took Bruce Jenner and made him slice his cock off. Like, the motherfucker used to be on Wheaties. You know, boxes of Wheaties. Winning gold medals. And now what? His name's Caitlyn.
Well, I feel like Bruce Jenner is a very, like, sensitive case. Just because of the fact that he killed a woman by running her over with his car.
Oh, so that did happen.
I've seen so much.
Did that happen?
Yes, it's happened. No, it hasn't happened. But
I don't know. How do you fucking look that up? Did Bruce Jenner hit someone with their car?
Like Bruce Jenner car accident.
Yeah.
But even without the fatal car crash.
Back in 2015.
Yeah.
No charges for Reality Star.
Even then,
So it was Caitlyn at that point, not Bruce.
I couldn't tell you. I've never followed that very closely.
Ugh.
Even then, I've never been too, I guess, judgmental of someone's decision to take on like their own identity or appearance or anything like that.
Oh no, I mean, you do your own thing. Like, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others.
But that was after the Kardashians living.
Yeah,
like I think there's a very clear correlation between living with those psychotic bitches and then cutting your own dick off. I think there's a correlation. A. B. I mean, I'm all for transgender rights. I really am. I'm all for gay rights, transgender rights. But what scares me is that gender misidentification disorder or whatever the fuck that's called.
Gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria, thank you. So that's no longer listed as a mental illness in that big fucking book of illness. What's that fucking called?
Is it American Psychological
Like
Association?
the
APA? I don't know.
The DMA or some shit. I don't know what the fuck that book's called. But
American Psychiatric Association.
Man, I don't know. It's a big fucking book. I just know that. Anyway, my fear was that so that gets taken out and it's no longer listed, right? Now I would never negate the mental torment those people are probably and most likely are going through. Right?
It's like, how would you feel if you woke up in the wrong body one day?
No, exactly, and your brain is convinced of that, and you are as well. I couldn't imagine what that torment's like, right? Just feeling genuinely out of place and alien in your own body. Like, I feel for that. But when you look at the statistics of those who go through a true gender change, right? A complete sex change, their suicide rates are out of this world. The rates of depression, anxiety, paranoia out of this fucking world. I mean,
Speaking to that, though, to some degree, that's not a completely, accurate statement because so the rate of, sex work among transgendered individuals is also greatly higher than that of the normal population. And the rates of depression, suicide, violence against those sex workers as well is much higher than that of the normal populace. So,
but I also wouldn't say that every transgender is a sex worker. I would honestly say most of them aren't. It's just comparatively, the demographic of sex workers in the transgender community and the non-trans community is definitely higher. But you also have to look at the fact that there are a lot more non-trans than there are trans. And the point I'm trying to get at is I feel that if you are currently feeling like that, I think that you should exhaust options at treating that like a mental illness and possibly getting past it, rather than kind of dealing with it, struggling with it, and then starting making moves like taking testosterone, taking other hormone replacement supplements,
taking
and then
testosterone blockers, hormone blockers when you're 12 years old.
That's fucking disgusting.
That's on the parent.
Oh, fuck
That's
it.
the parent making those decisions.
Yeah, those horrible fucking parents. And what's worse is there are lawmakers right now actually trying to actively work against the parent and say, yeah, you know what, this 8-year-old clearly knows what the fuck they want, so let them change genders.
When I was 8 years old, I wanted to change my name to Luke Skywalker.
Hey, that's totally
and
fair.
If I had known what they were going to do to him in The Last Jedi, absolutely not. No way.
You actually bring up a relatively good point, though. There's a lot of, at least from the bits that I have looked into it, there seems to be a decent amount of regret post-operation. It's like, oh, fuck, I really did this to myself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just feel like I said, a lot of options need to be exhausted before you start getting to that point.
Oh, yeah.
And that's terrifying. I don't know, I just think a lot of options need to be exhausted. But
Can you actually look that up? What are the suicide rates in the transgender community currently?
Post-operation suicide rate.
Yeah, definitely post-op. Yeah, preferably look for
the second link. The second link would be good.
Yeah.
Shit.
So this is off of the William Institute of Law, UCLA. 98% of respondents who had experienced 4 instances of discrimination and violence in the past year thought about suicide. 51% attempted.
Now, is this post-operation or?
I would imagine it's
I mean, even then.
Just regardless.
And only 5% of the transgender community that got polled had not felt discrimination.
It's like 30% were attacked in a public place. Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
So,
it goes into like a huge summary.
Yeah, so I don't know. Back to Kanye West though. I think he's a real.
Comes full circle.
Yeah,
comes full circle.
I think he's a real interesting character, and I think he has absolute genius going through him. But he, again, it's hard for him to get the point across, and especially now. It's sad in my opinion, but now that he has fully converted his life, at least it seems that he has, and he's fully converted himself to Christianity, people are very easy and very quick to write him off as a Jesus freak, as, you know, a God snob, whatever they want to call it. And I mean, a lot of people didn't take him seriously beforehand, now even more people don't, which I think sucks.
Well, the problem with Kanye is he just goes through so many different, I guess, phases, if you would call it. Like, when you think about an artist, you can think about, like, the many variations or phases that you've seen him go through. And if you say, we can look at, like, the life of Pablo or Yeezus, My Dark Twisted Fantasy, those are all different interpretations of himself, his like psyche, his identity as a person. And let's say you liked him when he was at his Yeezus, and like now you don't like him now. You're like, oh, well, what are you doing now? I liked when you're at your Yeezus. Go back to Yeezus. It's so easy to just write that off as just another one of his phases, when you really can't tell if that's like who he is now, or if that's just another one of his phases.
See, I think the best album he's put out is My Dark Twisted Fantasy. I fucking love that album. But it's sad to look at him, because like when he ran that presidential campaign and he had that breakdown,
he actually thought he was going to win.
Yeah, he had a breakdown, and they got him on camera, and you find out where that was at. Yeah, that first video, but make sure it's on mute. Go to the description for me real quick.
And if you look at that video, he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Because his like psyche was, I'm at the hospital. They're trying to silence me, stuff like that. He's kind of victimizing himself through, I guess, his mental state.
Well, then he also he starts screaming and yelling about how he almost aborted his daughter. And shit like that. It's heartbreaking. It's very sad.
You gotta think about it. I'm gonna just put this out there. Kanye's made his best music when he was off his meds. Like Yeezus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
808s and Heartbreak. Actually, no, 808s and Heartbreak was a result of heartbreak.
Yeah.
Not being on his meds. But when you've got a creative genius like that, and then you pump him full of, I guess, suppressors and, I don't know, everything like antidepressant pills, that's going to cut down on his creative genius.
Well, there's a very clear correlation between drugs and creativity.
Well, drugs that are going to expand your psyche and not limit it.
Yeah, marijuana, acid, various psychedelics. Even Stephen King famously, he doesn't remember writing.
He microdosed, right?
Well, he doesn't remember writing Cujo because he was coked up the entire time, and that's one of his best books.
Because I've always seen the statistics hey, microdosing LSD will produce, will boost your productivity, and
Well, see, and I've heard about that, and now the states are finally starting to legalize.
Oregon, right?
Well, Oregon went off the rails and legalized fucking everything. I don't know what that's going to do to their state, what that's going to do to their healthcare system.
I really think that was a step in the right direction.
I think it is too. I kind of brought this up last night on the podcast that we were shooting. I think that the state has no right to govern your own consciousness. I think, are there obviously drugs that are going to fuck your life up? For sure.
But you have the right to fuck your own life up.
No, exactly. You have the right to fuck your own life up. And if you get high, just in the same manner if you get wasted, right? You drink alcohol and you go do something stupid. You go out and you crash your car into somebody. You just crash your car in general. You go kill somebody. You go rape somebody. You go commit arson. Whatever.
You're responsible for your actions.
Exactly. we have laws in place to punish that.
Shameless plug for New Year's. AAA is doing a service. They'll tow your ass home if you're drunk.
Yeah, exactly. So we have laws against all of these crimes.
There really shouldn't be a hindrance on
Your own consciousness. And now the states are finally starting to legalize specifically psilocybin in MDMA.
Psilocybin?
Psilocybin mushrooms.
Is it psilocybin or is it psilocybin? Is there a difference?
I noticed psilocybin. Psilocybin. But
What
what's
have I been
interesting is
saying
they're using psilocybin to treat depression.
Yep.
And MDMA has been found to treat PTSD, specifically in soldiers.
So, yeah, see, exactly, there you go. MDMA assisted psychotherapy.
So yeah, I think these all have very healing properties, but specifically drugs that are found on the ground, right? Marijuana.
But you're talking about like healing properties.
Mm-hmm.
What about recreational?
I think, as far as recreational goes, I think that these drugs need to be treated with a lot of respect. And I don't think, look, to each their own, right? I'm not going to judge what people do, right? Again, as long as you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting others, whatever. And even then, if you do hurt yourself doing drugs, it's your fucking choice.
I mean, think about it. If drugs and alcohol were reversed, I say drugs and alcohol like they're the same, the different things, but alcohol is just another drug. If alcohol was in the same position as like weed for the longest time, there would be no way it would be legalized.
Oh, facts.
No way.
Oh, facts. And I would know, there's a very strong argument, almost to the point of being factual, that alcohol is worse for you than marijuana.
Is it not?
That's what I'm saying. But there's people that would argue that marijuana is worse for you than alcohol. There are people that would argue that. That's my point. But as far as using the drugs recreationally, I think they should be treated with a lot of respect, because you are altering your consciousness. Now, obviously, it depends on your strain, your dosage, X, Y, and Z.
Your experience too.
Exactly, the experience of taking the drugs. But if you are doing these drugs, you need to do your research.
You need to respect them.
You need to learn about, yes, you need to respect them, because you are altering your consciousness to various manners. And wherever that takes you is wherever that takes you. And I'm a strong believer that if you're not in the right state of mind, and then really the state of being, and you ingest these drugs, you're gonna fuck yourself up.
Because you're going to exacerbate the state of mind you're in right now.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's important that while these drugs are being used to treat depression, PTSD, anxiety, etc., they're being done under the care of doctors and scientists. Like, people are paying attention to these studies.
So like, what about in Oregon, where everything is just, it's open season?
I think that's yet to be seen. I feel like, it is already because of COVID, but I feel like their healthcare system's going to get fucking ravaged.
Oh yeah.
But also at the same time, I know I can speak for myself. If you left me in a room with heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine,
I would probably do it.
Oh my god!
I would just try it. It's like,
I wouldn't.
It's like, where's the spoon?
Yeah.
The spoon, baby.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, I would never do it. So, you could leave me in a room with those drugs for as long as I could carry a baggie with me all the time. I'm not going to do it, because I just know the intrinsic health risk, right?
I mean, I would do it like once, maybe.
Fuck that. No, thank you.
But at the same time with Oregon, I feel like it's because they're going to treat addiction more of a mental illness than a crime. And that's where I think they're going in the right direction.
Then I agree with that. I don't think the answer to any sort of addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, even stuff like pornography, sugar, fucking food, whatever it is that you found yourself addicted to and clinging to the point that it does fester into mental illness, the answer to that certainly is not locking you up in a cage. That's not the answer.
Because back when I used to be a personal trainer, I had worked with someone who had a psychological addiction to food. And they would go through various stages of their life where anorexic, quote unquote normal, and then just drastically overweight. And they would walk me through their whole, I guess, process within their psyche that led them to anorexia, healthy weight, and overweight. And it's just really fascinating to see, like, they're not punishing themselves with the food. I guess they're punishing themselves for, like, their past or anything like that. I'm not even going to try to speak on the mental ramifications of addiction.
So so as a personal trainer, how would you fit a diet to support that, or at least combat it?
I mean, you're not combating just lack of movement, lack of proper diet. You're combating like the actual person's like mental state. And I really just do my best to treat like any other clients. It's like we found out like why they were in there, and it's like why they needed that. Like for example, she like said she wanted to see her granddaughter. Like she wanted to see her granddaughter graduate high school. And I said like, hey, you know, if you continue along this path, you know, you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do in life, to like go hiking with your granddaughter or anything like that. I didn't want to say like you're gonna die, because that would be like the worst form of negative reinforcement. But placing a greater desire than that of just like the short term, because that's all addictions are. They're just short term gain over long term gain. That's all addictions are.
Well, they promote long-term damage.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you had to deal with that. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with Oregon.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think a lot of the ramifications of this pandemic are yet to be seen. And I think a lot of the reactions that we had were knee-jerk reactions. And I wouldn't necessarily say that Oregon's legalization of everything is a knee-jerk reaction, but it might be an overstep.
I think Oregon's introducing UBI as well, Universal Basic Income.
Are they really?
They're just the pioneer for everything over here.
Well, no, Alaska's had a UBI for the past 35 years.
Where if you move to Alaska, they'll give you a stipend.
Yeah, they'll give you a stipend to live in Alaska.
How much is that stipend? Because if it's good, you know, Anchorage is looking pretty nice this time of year.
Just look up UBI Alaska.
How much do you get paid to live in Alaska?
Yeah. Alaska Permanent Fund. Right there, Wikipedia. Right there. Okay. So $1,600 annually. So it's not a whole lot of money.
Like $140 a month?
Yeah, but it's money.
And I think, I was fully in support of Andrew Yang during presidential
God bless
primaries.
Andrew Yang.
But recently he came out and put his position on the vaccine, and he was like, we need to have ways to identify people that do have the vaccines. We can let the right people into certain spaces, and that's that's not a good thing.
But it's a slippery slope.
But everything up until what he said, he brought up the need for a UBI, then the fear of automation, and how we can't resist automation, but we need to find a way to move forward. So here we go. So he tweeted on December 18th this year, is there a way for someone to easily show that they have been vaccinated, like a barcode they can download to their phone? There ought to be. Tough to have mass gatherings like concerts or ball games without either mass adoption of the vaccine or a means of signaling.
Well, that's not necessarily even something new. In, I guess, like police logs, I remember I saw this YouTube video of this kid's like frat house being like approached by the police saying they had too many people there, and they ran the kid's info, and it turns out, hey, I've never seen this before. It says you tested positive for COVID. It's like that's not even anything new.
No, right? No, and I agree, but it doesn't make it good. And I just, like you said, that's a slippery slope, and that's not a route that I want to go down. But the way he approached UBI was super smart. It was, okay, we're gonna do it was a tax basically on corporations, the value added tax. So it was every Amazon purchase, Google search, Google Maps route, X, Y, and Z, Facebook update, whatever the fuck it is. Anytime these big companies get profit, the American
Off of the consumer.
Yeah, off the consumers, the Americans will get a slice of it. So you pump all that money into the economy, and then you federally legalize marijuana. You get tax dollars from that, and then at the same time, he was going to give a mass presidential pardon to everyone that has non-violent drug crimes
offenses
related to marijuana, which is long overdue.
Absolutely.
And you take all that money, and that actually makes a profit for the amount of budget that UBI was going to take up.
Yeah, it's like I remember one of my friends' fathers. He had been, I guess he had like gotten some sort of felony charge for marijuana back in his 20s. He's like 60 now. It was like maybe not even 8 years ago. It was right. It must have been like 2015, 2014. And President Obama like pardoned him. So there hasn't been like a mass pardoning going on or anything like that.
So how the fuck did he get Obama to pardon him?
I have no idea. We didn't really go into detail. She was just like super psyched. So I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's awesome.
I like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And I think, and I brought it up last night as well. It infuriates me. Like, I think it's fucking ridiculous that any state in general is legalizing marijuana and people aren't being released from prison. But imagine being in Colorado, where you can walk down the street, get a burger,
and a joint,
a drink, and a joint, right? And in that same state, there are people locked up in federal penitentiaries for non-violent drug crimes related to marijuana.
That's crazy to me.
That's fucking. God, it's insane to me. It makes no fucking sense. So now that we've got Biden and Kamala coming into office, which is...
Didn't Kamala put all those people in prison?
Yeah, no. Kamala Harris, absolutely. Look up the amount of convictions Kamala Harris had in California for marijuana.
It's an absurd number. Completely absurd. And we're talking about marijuana while we're down in whiskey.
Yes, sir.
One's legal, one's not.
Alright, so she has had over 1,900 cannabis-related convictions in San Francisco alone. That is fucking insane. And now she's running a platform of pro-marijuana, pro-legalization.
It's inauthentic.
Shut the fuck up. And for these people on the left that don't believe it for whatever reason, just look at the way they treated the Black Lives Matter movement. They pandered to them. They brought them in close, right under their wing, and right when they got in office, credit where credit's due, the leadership from the Black Lives Matter movement, they came out a couple weeks ago and they're like, yeah, it's been 35 days since we've heard from the new administration. It was like, no shit, they don't fucking need you anymore. They won. You were a means to an end. They don't give a fuck about you. Or at least, they don't give a fuck about you enough to fight back with constituents. Or those that are funding them, truly funding them.
I mean, so Black Lives Matter, I mean, they need to, I guess, just make an actual, like, name for themselves as something other than, like, just the protesters. It's like if they just, like, kind of marched on Washington, like, let's say they just had, like, a bunch of ARs, legal. ARs in hands, marching down Washington Avenue. That would do something. That would absolutely do something.
Well, I mean, there was a stand-in. It wasn't by BLM, but there was a stand-in of a bunch of dudes. They went to the Capitol, and they just hung out with their rifles. They had their body armor on. And they just stood there and hung out.
Hey, you remember that time in Virginia with the all the Second Amendment protesters, like the ones who like carried or like did an open carry walk or something like that?
No, that was it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Do you remember like all the arrests and like the looting and the rioting that occurred from that?
Yeah, literally none.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Literally fucking none. And that's why I never really understood about the rioting. Like I get where it's coming from. Like, I understand the fact that these individuals believe that the idea that social contract has been broken, right? The people who are supposed to be protecting them, the police, are now killing them, and they've been killing them, and we're only just seeing it more now because of our phone and social media. And the way I see that is with the George Floyd killing, right? I think that's something that everyone can universally agree on shouldn't have fucking happened. It's very ugly. Now, while George Floyd was only killed once, and that's one time too many, obviously, that video got millions and millions of views. So as far as everyone else is concerned, he's been killed 1,000,000 times, right? So I get where the anger is coming from, and just the years and decades upon decades of just civil, just racial injustice, right? So I get where the riots are coming from. But burning down the local Target, fucking up all these big corporations, they don't care about you either.
I mean, it's like every month during like Black History Month, during like Pride, all the corporations do their little thing, their little song and dance.
Yeah, they wave their fucking flags, they make their cute little videos.
And then in the next breath, but Starbucks is gonna let go of a bunch of transgender workers. It's like complete.
Like, they don't care about you. And the long-term effect of these riots and this looting incidents is you're gonna fucking
lower the property value.
Yeah, you lower the property value of all these neighborhoods, and so when your city officials and your state elected officials, they get together and like, okay, where are we gonna pump our money into? They are still not gonna pump money into those poor areas. Excuse me. They're not gonna pump that money into those local areas because, like, hey, it's gonna get fucking burnt down anyway. So you are fucking over the next few generations, I would argue.
And they're saying, hey, decrease the police presence in these areas. It's like, if you don't have a strong police presence in these areas, corporations are not going to invest in these areas because they know they're just gonna get burned down.
You're fucking ransacked.
Exactly.
It's sad. It's very horrible. And I think a lot of the reason why, like, first of all, this narrative isn't getting pushed because no one likes to hear it, but also I just think these areas need to be educated. Like, these people need to be educated on what they're fucking doing, and what the ramifications of their actions are. Like I said, everyone agrees that George Floyd shouldn't have been killed. Anyone who's killed unjustly by the police shouldn't have happened. I mean, we should really be getting to the point where police don't need to use lethal force like that. But we live in a fucked up world, so
I just think Americans have become such pussies. It's like, Andrew Rittenhouse? Not Andrew Rittenhouse.
No, Kyle Rittenhouse.
No. There was another guy. There was like a no-knock warrant issued for him at his apartment.
And he opened up his underwear and
holding a firearm.
And they fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Can you look that up? Look at man shot in his underwear, honestly.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yo, dude, that broke my heart. It was definitely in 2020 though.
Body cam footage shows final moments of underwear-clad man.
Well, that's 17 though.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, yeah. So the guy.
He opened the door.
Yeah.
They didn't say knock knock police. They just started pounding on the door. The dude opens the door in his underwear, holding a Glock. He just gets gunned down. They're saying, like, hands up, gun down. Hands up, gun down. What are you supposed to do in that scenario?
Yeah. And not only that, but when it's heartbreaking when you see the full video, his girlfriend's losing her mind. Well, actually, she keeps pretty calm for a bit. Then she starts losing her mind, and what she keeps trying to tell the cops is like, because they say they were called in for a noise complaint, not even a domestic, a noise complaint, and they're ready to open up on people.
Guns drawn for noise complaint.
Yeah, because if you look, so like if the door was here, right, they're gonna enter this way.
Yeah, they're on either side of the door.
Door was here, cops knock, stay over here, and they have one cop positioned right here to aim and be specifically out of the line of sight, which is fucking stupid. Like, I understand that, like, tactically, if you're going to like a known threat, but it's a fucking noise complaint.
So you're telling me if I start yelling, SWAT's gonna knock down that door?
Exactly. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So, what broke my heart about that was the girls telling the cops, because like, yeah, we got called for a noise complaint, they're trying to contain the situation, all these things, and she's like, what do you mean noise complaint? We were making salsa and playing PlayStation. And she goes, yeah, we might have been loud at the TV, we were playing PlayStation. And I watched that video.
She probably hadn't realized what had just happened.
Exactly, and I watched that video, and I think to myself, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be able to count the amount of times, alcohol involved or not, that me and my own girlfriend have gotten loud playing video games.
Making salsa?
Making salsa, yeah.
Green or red?
Both. Oh, dude, she makes a bomb red chili. Oh, bro. She makes really good both red and green, but I prefer the red, bro. Red is so fun. Her red is so fun.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, point is, like, we love playing video games together. And I can't even begin to imagine the amount of times that, like, we've been loud. So what? Does that open us up to one of us getting killed? Because look, if we're upstairs, right, and we're in the bedroom and we're playing video games, and I hear a loud banging in my door, yeah, I'm telling her to stay in the bedroom. I'm getting my rifle. Like, no shit.
Handgun would be better. Close proximity.
Yeah, but that's also and if someone's trying to break in, this is that long hallway right there.
Oh, dude, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'd rather have my fucking. I'd rather have my rifle. Yes.
Shot by Arizona cop after his neighbor made a noise complaint. And let's just talk about that for a second. So, you see all these times, like, the cops like, oh, we got a call about something. How does the neighbor get to be jury, judge, and executioner for that?
No, it makes no fucking sense. And really,
that's crazy.
And really, I wouldn't blame the neighbor.
Crazy.
I blame the police officers because they're using horrible fucking judgment. And yeah, so like, look. So if you look in that first picture right there, under the baseball one, if you look, there's a cop standing right behind him, and he's ready to go.
The door opens that way. He's standing right there.
Yeah, that's fucking horrible. Scroll down a little more. He's trying to put his gun down, and then he gets shot 3 times. Keep going down. Yeah, and there's the girlfriend. Yeah, it's fucking,
insane.
It's bullshit. It's utter fucking bullshit.
And I remember I saw this video of this, it was in the hotel. The dude with the officer with the AR just trained on the guy. Right, and the guy gets into the hallway and they light him up. He's like just saying, crawl towards me. And he fucking, And he starts crawling, just gets lit up. Yeah. And these are the same... That was like, what, 4 years ago? Yeah, something like that. But these are the same officers that I guess the gun grabbers want to come to take your firearms. And like, don't even get me started on gun control. It is rooted deeply in racial injustice. Where did gun control start? California. In response to what? The Black Panthers open carrying and defending their own neighborhoods. That is directly where it stemmed from.
And see, that was one of the best things that I saw when the rioting and the looting was happening. I want to say in Baltimore.
Dude, the rooftop Koreans.
Oh, so that made
fucking love rooftop Koreans.
Yeah, so that came back. Hey, but there was a video that I saw on Facebook, and it came out of Baltimore, I believe. And what happened was
rooftop Koreans.
It's a bunch of these.
Fucking love them.
So that's during the LA riots.
Mm-hmm.
Rooftop Koreans. But
the Rodney King.
Riots, the Rodney King. But these guys, these black guys, were standing outside of. I couldn't tell if it was a business or their house.
I think it was a business because I could see like.
And they weren't doing anything wrong. They were just hanging out. They had a couple AKs, a couple pistols, and they're like, "Don't bring that bullshit up in here.
Absolutely.
Do not bring that bullshit up in here." They were pointing the guns at the camera. They were making derogatory statements.
Excellent trigger control.
Yeah, they had their fingers out of the trigger well. They're just hanging out. They're like, do not bring that bullshit. And that's a perfect show of force. That is an absolutely perfect show of force.
I mean, if you're gonna rush a group of people that is very obviously armed and you get shot, well, that's your fault.
It's Darwinism.
That is exactly. That is
Darwinism.
110% your fault. And you bring up a good point. Look that up real quick, Briscoe. When did gun control begin in the U.S.? Because I want to say you're right.
I mean, that's what happens when you make an actor governor. 1934. The National the NFA, yeah.
Under Roosevelt, the New Deal.
I guess the more widespread, if infringement came from California in response to the Black Panthers.
And
I don't know. I don't understand how these people who are trying to make these gun control laws and are trying to push this gun control narrative, I don't understand how they
Who's going to take the guns?
Well, so that
Exactly.
that A, B. I don't understand why they can't just use common sense. Look at the literature. Look at the statistics. Chicago has some of the strictest
Okay, that's actually a very good point.
gun laws in the nation, and they are fucked up.
So I'd love to bring this up. So Houston and Chicago have very similar demographics in terms of class, race, everything like that. Houston has fairly lenient gun laws. I've kind of gotten an understanding from them when I went to get my concealed handgun license, known as an LTC over there. But then you look at Chicago, some of the very strictest gun laws in the nation. And I mean, it's just, they're not comparable. The only thing I take away from this is that cold weather causes gun violence.
So what are the poverty rates in Chicago compared to that of Houston?
Oh man, they're not good.
Because poverty
creates violence.
Yeah, it undoubtedly breeds crime and violence without a doubt, and that's why Mexico's so fucked right now. It just keeps getting worse.
Houston, I know Third Ward. I know Third Ward pretty. I don't know it. I'm just some white dude who goes to school in University of Houston. But I have to ride through it on my motorcycle whenever I used to go to school. My option A was take the train, the metro through Third Ward, or ride right through the heart of it in Third Ward. And after just one too many sketchy situations, I wasn't you know what, fuck it, I'm getting a concealed handgun license.
Yeah, and that's understandable. So we're looking at the unemployment rate is within a 1% margin.
Yep.
Job growth is a lot better in Houston by a 3% margin. Future job growth is...
And household income is actually higher in Chicago. But then you have to compare the cost of living.
Yeah, I would say cost of living is... That's interesting.
I mean, Texas is great. We got super cheap cost of living, super cheap property. I love it.
See, you look at the high end, you look at an income greater than $200,000 a year, and they're within a margin of
Exactly. These are basically just rounding errors.
Yeah.
The differences between the two.
So do you think we should treat guns like drugs? And you say, fuck it, open market?
Let's look at the war on drugs. How's that been going?
Drugs are winning. No, let's be real. No, if you look at the war on drugs, we're legalizing shit. So therefore, inherently, the
drugs have won.
The drugs are winning.
Why would you trust any government that smuggled firearms to Mexican cartels to control your own?
And also gave weapons to the Middle Easterns to fight off the Russians, and then we ended up having to fight off the Middle Easterns anyway, so... Yeah. But
the same government that created the crack epidemic in black communities has no rights.
So you believe that? Or the U.S. government...
CIA created the crack epidemic in black communities? Absolutely.
What's the evidence that you...
Before we go on the internet, look it up for sure. Before we go on the internet, why do you think that is? I think you're putting me on a watch list.
The CIA was wait, watch list? What?
Yeah, you're definitely going to be put on a watch list for this one.
Oh, well. But
I need more drinks.
it was actually shown that CIA was used to smuggle crack into the United States to, fund, the totalitarian right governments that we were supporting in South America. And how did we pay for that? For that crack? guns.
So, okay, I'm sorry. So they smuggled crack into the black communities.
Not necessarily specifically the black communities, but into poverty-stricken areas.
Okay, they smuggled it into poverty-stricken areas, and they took the money and they pumped that money into South America.
Because, I mean, you know the U.S.'s role in South America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of, not.
So we basically supported the overthrow, the coup of a bunch of communist, leftist-leaning governments that could potentially...
Overthrowing governments is our MO.
Yeah.
Look at the entire Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
That's
What was it? What was the movie? 12 Strong?
Oh, I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, man.
That's the Horseman, right? With Chris Hemsworth?
Yep.
Yeah.
He makes a really good soldier. So when we get drafted for World War III, I want him to be my sergeant. He's gonna get like a lightning bolt on his helmet for Thor, everything like that.
Okay, so look at that. Wikipedia is a good source. CIA involvement in the Contra cocaine trafficking.
If you didn't know about this, like...
So writers have alleged that the United States Central Intelligence Agency was involved in the Nicaraguan Contra cocaine trafficking operations during the 80s, Nicaraguan Civil War. These claims have led to investigations with the U.S. government, including hearings and reports by the House of Representatives, Senate, the Department of Justice. Okay, so they're investigating themselves.
That's the same thing as a police investigation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've investigated ourselves. We didn't do a thing wrong.
Go to the Dark Alliance series. What is that about? Oh, Christ. For a better part of a decade, a San Francisco Bay Area drug ring sold tons of cocaine to the Crips and Bloods of Los Angeles and funneled millions in drug profits into a Latin American guerrilla army run by the United States CIA.
What?
The drug ring
That's crazy.
Opened the first pipeline between Colombia's cocaine cartels and the black neighborhoods of Los Angeles, and as a result, the cocaine that flooded helped spark a crack explosion in urban America. Holy fuck, dude. He reads. Jesus Christ. Okay, what website is this?
It looks sketchy. I'm seeing too much.
The source, that Wikipedia.
I'm seeing too much HTML.
Okay.
Look, just.
Oh shit.
It's like if you went into like the accounting numbers and analyze like the deficit and then the budget allocated for the three-letter organizations operating in South America at the time, you got to make up that money somehow. You got to make up that deficit.
So who was? Because when was Nixon president?
I don't remember him being in a Call of Duty game, so I couldn't tell you.
Was he in the first Black Ops?
Nixon? No, that was Kennedy.
Well, it's Kennedy and
he was
Nixon
in 5.
in the Zombies map, right? Okay, so
oh yeah,
69 to
someone's
70.
breaking in.
Yeah,
it's just the rain.
So right after, okay, so Reagan is. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Jesus Christ, man! So they're.
What?
Fuck. That shit's crazy. So, assuming all of this is true, right? So what does that mean? So, okay, so then do you buy into the narrative that the government, in all their infinite wisdom, they do what they can to maintain poverty in this country? Do you subscribe to that?
Okay.
Or do you think that
I'm the
poverty,
government. I'm the government.
or the poverty's inherent?
Let's do a quick thing. So I'm the government. You're Vargas, and then right next to you is so you're Noah. Right next to you is Benjamin. Okay. You are Noah. You're not taking assistance from me. Okay. Benjamin over there is taking assistance from me because he is under the poverty line. So who's going to be more loyal to me? You or Benjamin? Who's going to keep voting me into office?
It's a fair point. Okay, so then my counter argument for that then would be the poverty levels are rising in Kentucky right now, but they keep voting in Mitch McConnell, who they know even prior to today, where he blocked that stimulus
Kentucky,
bill,
have too many diehard Reds.
they continuously vote in McConnell, And you think it's because of party allegiance,
Party allegiance. 100%.
even though their party is 100% fucking them over.
Yeah. It's like if you talk to any Southern conservative, they're like, oh, they're going to raise my taxes, the Democrats. They're not even going to be affected by those tax increases. Those are for the people making like $200K a year, not the trailer trash making 50 grand a year.
No, I mean, that's a fair point. So, do you think then that it is all government imposed poverty? They're rigging the system to ensure that happens? Or do you think there is still some self-imposed poverty? Or I guess, okay, not self-imposed, but like the poverty's always been there. And unless the grand populace of that area does something, poverty will remain.
There are just so many rabbit holes you can go down into for the cause of poverty. Like, let's take the okay, here's one example. So it can be saying that one causes the other, but the rates of single motherhood just completely exploded after the women's suffrage movement, and with that comes an increase in poverty. So I wouldn't, and like with the same thing with like legalize like birth control, abortions, everything like that. Like the single motherhood rate went up after like women's suffrage movements, expansions in like women's rights when it comes to reproductive health, i.e. like abortions, birth control, everything like that. And with that greater single motherhood rate comes an increase in poverty in those areas. So does one lead to the other? Is it in the interest of the government to keep its populace dependent on them? Absolutely. Absolutely, it is in the interest.
Well, I agree with you that it is in the interest for a totalitarian, well, assuming that it is totalitarian government, to keep the people indebted to them pretty much, right? Whether it's morally or fiscally. But
are you going to say the U.S. is not a totalitarian government?
I don't think we are yet, A. B, I would imagine, so let's say I was running the show, right? If I want my country to succeed, if I want my country to thrive, I need to create winners.
No.
Not sustain losers.
You need to create 3 winners who will the top 99% of the wealth.
I'm talking the whole country.
No, okay.
The whole country, for the whole country to succeed, you need to be able to create winners, not sustain losers. You see what I'm trying to say?
Well, I wouldn't even say like the assistance itself is sustaining losers, because
I think it is, for sure. Because if you're gonna, let's say you work a very basic job with a very basic wage, and you don't even clear $1,500 a month, but you have government assistance that makes that $1,500 $2,300 a month, $2,500 a month,
and that makes it livable.
And that makes it livable. Where is your incentive to move forward? If you don't have any inherent incentive, you don't have any inherent motivation within yourself, and your surrounding area, no one else really has the motivation to do it because everyone else is doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, right? It's that culture to be on welfare, to get government assistance and live your life like that, off the government cheese, quote unquote. It really does remove the motivation to do better for yourself. Now, am I saying we need to get rid of government programs? Definitely not. There are people that need it. Like, that's unquestionable. And I'm not the guy to make these decisions, obviously, but like, we need to find a way to make these programs less of a crutch, a tool, not a crutch.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to enable people to.
But at the same time, if you're receiving those benefits, and then you hear from the person that you voted in to keep those benefits, hey, my opponent X, he's going to take your benefits away, and you're going to be out on the street. That's gonna help you maintain the status quo.
I know, and I agree, but I think the greatest, especially now with the pandemic, shows that we need it because our government fucked up the assistance programs, fucked up the PPP, and the stimulus checks.
Let's talk about the stimulus checks for a second.
Okay.
So, why are those not being approved immediately?
Well, so this new bill that came out,
It's bipartisan.
That is-
Bipartisan
it was-
agreement, but
it was
who's
bi-
vetoing it?
It was bipartisan. However, it is getting when it was a $600 check. It got vetoed. It made it to the president's desk, but it got vetoed by the president because the president believed that we needed $2,000 checks. But now, but a main problem that he had with that was a lot of foreign aid money.
There's a ridiculous amount of small print. That's why it was vetoed.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna ban illegal streaming services. Well, quote unquote, ban the already illegal ones.
No, it'll make them a
Like
felony.
memes. Fucking memes.
Oh yeah, they're gonna find a way to legislate memes.
Yeah. And it grants like $100 million to these random government organizations.
Can you find a breakdown of that bill when it came to foreign aid, please?
It's just,
It's fucking
it
insane.
boggles my mind.
Look up stimulus package.
And like AOC, Alexandria.
Package 2 of foreign aid budget.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made a very good point. Like, if you get a 200-page bill and you're supposed to vote on it that night,
Yeah, Washington Post.
there's no way.
Washington Post.
There's absolutely no way.
No, yeah, they gave him 5 hours to read a 5,000-page fucking document.
She's my absolute waifu.
Like, I don't agree with everything she has to say, but like that was a very good point. But watch, scroll down. Keep going and see if they have a breakdown, and if not, we'll kind of just skip into that video. I shouldn't get all fucked up for that. All right, go up. You just go up to the video. All right, yeah, play that shit. About halfway. Okay, yeah, get out of this. Look up, like, I don't know, do stimulus package 2 breakdown. Fuck it.
Like, if I recall correctly, there was an incredible allocation of it towards our defense budget again.
Yeah, it is a huge up in the budget.
It is inflated to an insane degree. What's in the 900 billion? Yeah, let's take a look at
I don't want to hear these fucking hermits. Yeah, thank you. Keep going down. We'll get back to all that. We'll get back to that. Keep going down. Keep going down. No, keep going. Keep going. Okay.
It's like the transportation, for example. Why does the Department of Transportation need a bailout
Yeah.
in a pandemic?
Yeah, keep going down to aid to state, liability. Keep going down. What the fuck? But you saw that breakdown, right? Where it was like Argentina, Nicaragua, Guatemala, fucking Egypt, Israel. All these fucking places are getting like upwards of 1.2 million people. Some countries getting into billions of dollars.
It's insane to me.
Like fucking why? And then the rest of us are getting $600 a person.
It's like there is just so much. Okay, so the U.S. government needs to make up its fucking mind. Are they going to close businesses and give us money, or are they going to keep everything open and not give us money? Because I saw this video. It was in California, which is a complete shit show. So in California, federal gyms in federal buildings, they were not closed. They were not closed. Meanwhile, like private gyms, privately owned gyms, they're gone. They're shut down. That is complete and utter hypocrisy, and it's just disgusting.
Well, it's bullshit, and
They're just leaving them out to dry.
aside from my personal convictions about the gym, there's all these things that come out like washing your hands, social distancing, wearing a mask, but nobody was telling you to take your fucking vitamins. Nobody was telling you to take vitamin D, have a proper diet, exercise, all these things that you should have been doing. Nobody, hardly anybody is promoting that. Why? That's the biggest combatant to COVID-19. Like, if you have all these predisposed health conditions, like different lung problems, diabetes,
Or if you're just old.
immune system that is compromised, being of old age, things you can't really control, then yeah, that really sucks. But my argument for that is these people that are already predisposed, they've been cautious. It's not like COVID-19, yeah, it's gonna make them more cautious.
It's definitely gonna make them at least a little bit more cautious.
Right, but you're beating a dead horse, right? But no, it is absolutely no shock to me, aside from just general American arrogance. Like, well, you tell me to do this, so I'm not going to do it. But like, no shit, America's having the biggest problem. You know what the biggest epidemic in America is and has been? Obesity and heart disease. Those are the biggest
number one
health problems that we've been having. So no fucking shit that COVID-19 is gonna knock our pants off. It's like, yeah, you should have fucking been taking care of yourself. But, yes, I think it is absolutely insane that the closer to the top you got, the less restrictions you have. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And aside from a UBI and being able to stimulate the economy, really the best thing they could have done is like, okay, we know we're going to have to lock down. We know this is going to be a thing. We need to set aside a budget strictly to protect paychecks, protect unemployment benefits, ensure these people don't get fucked, right? It's inherently. We know that we're going to have to do this, so let's prepare this and make it recurring for however many months you need it. Because I think the best way to fix an economy, especially our specific economy, under a capitalist market, right? You stimulate the bottom. Mm-hmm. If you give people like us in this room...
Trickle-down economics is a thing it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke. Trickle-down does not work. If you give people like us $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000, inherently, yeah. Are we going to buy things off Amazon? Sure.
Nah, fuck Amazon.
Right, most people will. I'm letting you know right now, most people will. But
Amazon is a whole different thing we need to tackle.
Yeah, but... And this is another great argument that Andrew Yang brought up for UBI. If you inject these people with this money, they're going to get car repairs done. They're going to get their house repairs done. They're going to set aside for rent. They're going to set aside for college. They're going to have more food. They're going to have all these things. And inherently, they are going to stimulate the local economy. And they need to let the cash flow from the bottom up. Because it's going to reach the top anyway. And Amazon's a great example because, yet again, for their fiscal year, they aren't paying taxes. Why?
Well, the why is simply because they've been investing all of their profits, so they can say they didn't make profit.
So yeah, we obviously see how broken that system is. We need to fix it. And they literally left me speechless. It's fucking retarded. Again, everyone knows it. Everyone knows it.
It's like the same thing with like how Trump's tax returns came out. He paid $750. It's because he specifically like invested all of his profits into future business ventures, everything like that, so he wouldn't have to pay taxes.
Right, and so and it was very tongue-in-cheek when they brought up his tax returns when he was running for president 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you evaded taxes, and he just stood on the platform and he was like, well, yeah, no shit.
You would too.
Yeah, you guys set up the system. The rest of the Democrats do it. Bernie certainly does it. All of you set up the system for me to succeed, and of course I'm going to abuse it.
And like, so this is. Now you heard of the painting loophole?
No.
Okay. So I am a incredibly wealthy celebrity. You are a museum curator / appraiser. So Joe Schmo over here goes and flings paint on a canvas. Okay? And then you give that canvas to me. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. You appraise that canvas for $3 million. And then I donate that canvas to a museum. I just got a $3 million tax write-off.
Can you fact check that, please?
What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Donation write-off. Tax donation write-off.
No, wait, click out of it. It's right there, it's on top. Yeah, taxable donate artwork is a tax write-off. Okay, so you get a $3 million tax write-off. Does that mean the government gives you $3 million?
No. it means you can, let's say I made $6 million that year. Now I just made $3 million because I wrote that off. I made a $3 million donation to the Smithsonian for this 3 drops of paint on a piece of paper that you, the museum appraiser, appraised at $3 million.
Oh, you gotta realize that I'm a dumbass. So what does that mean for profit?
Profit. There's no profit involved. You're just writing it off your taxes.
So basically, let's say I don't make fucking.
So if you made $3 million that year, instead you made a $3 million donation, so you made $0 that year. To really dumb it down.
Yeah, so you break even.
To really dumb it down.
Jesus.
Yeah, click on that real quick, please.
Yeah.
You will need to own the art for at least 1 year to be able to write off as an increased value, and you can write up to 30% of the adjusted gross income and appreciated assets unless you subtract the appreciation from the item's fair market value and in claiming the deduction.
So yeah, you just created a tremendous amount of value as an appraiser for 3 drops of paint on a canvas.
So then to round this back to Amazon, because they vest all their money, they don't pay taxes.
Basically, no.
That is fucking retarded.
But dude, Amazon is its whole it's a whole nother beast. There are literal communities dedicated to ripping off Amazon.
Well, it's fucking ridiculous because you look at what they're doing, and they're about as innovating as they are destroying. So there are warehouses that are manned by humans. That's a very important distinction, apparently. The ones that are ran by humans are pretty much illegal sweatshops.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely horrible. John Oliver did a whole expose on it. And you can take his opinion on what you will, but he had genuine facts to back it up. And then you can also look at the warehouses where it's wall-to-wall robots.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no organic life in there at all, except for the mechanics and the supervisors make sure the robots don't fucking break down. But I mean, what is that? 100 plus jobs immediately replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amazon, I'm sure you saw this, they opened up their grocery store.
Oh yeah.
And
they didn't open their own. They partnered up with an already established corporation of grocery stores. Was it Whole Foods? Maybe
it's some sort. Yeah, look at that real quick. But basically, what it was for those of you listening or watching, who don't know about it. Basically, what it was is you can keep looking up, please. Amazon grocery store. So basically, what it is you fucking go into the grocery store and you have your cart,
mm-hmm.
and you get the product that you want. So you get a bag of goldfish. Throw it in the cart, and if you're looking at the cart right here, there's going to be a monitor.
That's what. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's that monitor that says goldfish, fucking $3. And then what you can do is you can scan the product, and the product will have Amazon ratings on it, and it will show you what other people already thought.
I did not know.
And then as you're leaving, you pay. You cross a fucking invisible laser line barrier they've got.
It says you paid for this,
and you pay for the food in your cart, and you fuck off.
See, that's actually pretty cool.
No, it's dope as shit, but my problem with it is that it just takes away so many jobs.
Yep.
And once that gets established, especially in California, especially in the Silicon Valley area, even people claim that Silicon Valley is dying, and there's an argument either way for that, but they're not going away anytime soon. So once that takes over California, that's like, okay, fine. If you can do that with grocery stores, if you can do that with food, sustenance, you can definitely do that in retail.
I mean, does Amazon have the rights to take away those jobs just to maximize profit?
Yes.
They absolutely do.
100%.
It's ethical.
Ethical? No.
Not ethical whatsoever.
But they're making money with their fucking company. See, that's all that matters to them.
This is why I love the quote unquote the dark web. So I'm aware of a community that offers a service. It's called Amazon Refunds. Okay. This is not going to show up on any Google search. I mean, you can try.
Can you go to an incognito mode, please?
I would recommend looking into this through a proxy at least. So basically it's an Amazon refund service. So you get your items off Amazon. Let's say the total comes out to $1,000, and then you send them your order, your login for everything like that, and you're hey, I'd like to get this refunded. 100% of it gets refunded back to your card. The middleman takes 15% of that, paid directly to him. It's like these are
Amazon refunds.
Amazon refund service, Discord.
Have you read it?
Yep, Discord service is tagged with refunding. See? Bam. Like, look at the limits. Look at the limits for Target. They do Target, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy. It is fraud. It is fraud.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But, you know, if it's coming to like Amazon, you know, like...
Fuck them. No, yeah, fuck them. Now, granted, they'll come at you with the full force of the law because they have the fucking big dick
How?
and they can. Oh, if they find out, you don't think Amazon and their team
How they gonna find out?
corporate lawyers will squat if they find out.
Do you know how many times, like I've seen this, like, in the service, like, they have a picture taken of the package at the front door. Is that okay? It's like, yeah, that's fine. We got it. This is, like, masterminded fraud against these corporations.
Well, I'm down with that. Fuck yeah. So, what do you think then about the Amazon drones? Can you find out what states use Amazon drones?
Shit.
What do you think about that? Because that's fucking crazy.
There's got to be some degree of data mining going on.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Oh, 100%. I mean, after Snowden broke that Verizon thing under the Obama administration, oh yeah, there's data mining fucking everywhere. They're listening right now. They are. Like, our phones.
Yep.
Like, they're listening right fucking now. Okay,
Amazon Prime Air. This is just crazy.
Select cities in 2019, but the service is yet to materialize in this year.
Remember Mura, obviously, right? From
Mura, yeah.
So I remember I was texting him like 2 or 3 years ago.
Mura.
And he was at University of Texas in Austin.
Oh, UT Austin, yeah.
Yeah. And he was telling me how they have an Amazon service there where it's saying...
Oh, yeah, no, that's nothing new. So...
Well, that was, yeah, he told me like 3-4 years ago. That is wild. Like, you literally press click and then 4 hours later you have your Amazon purchase.
See, they had something similar like that on the University of Houston. So they had these 4-wheel drones, okay? So just bear with me. Like yay big. I don't know.
Like oversized RC cars is what it sounds like.
Oversized RC cars. So there's a market for DOMs, little. But so they had these oversized RC drones. You would order on the app. I forget which app it was called. But so they would. So it was only if you like lived on campus. If you were on campus at the time. So you could say, hey, I am in McElhinney Hall and I want Panda Express. The drone would just drive over to Panda Express. They would put the Panda Express in the drone and the RC car would just drive all the way over to you to pick it up.
So what's the stop? It's driving through the campus, right?
Yeah. You'll just see these just like driving through campus.
Yeah, so what's to stop somebody from picking up one of these drones and taking the Panda Express?
There's so many cameras on it. So many cameras. So many cameras.
Still though.
And I think you have to like scan the drone with the app you're ordering on, so you can actually like open it. You can try brute forcing it, but you know, if you're brute force opening a drone middle of campus, someone's gonna say something. Hey, campus police, this dude's trying to get some free Panda Express.
That's crazy.
But it's insane. That was like the first time I saw one, I was like, what the fuck is that?
So then, okay, so let me bring up this problem to you then. Should there be trillionaires? Should that be allowed?
It's not morally, like, it is morally reprehensible. You should not have that much money. But I mean, if you earned it, I mean, go crazy.
Right, but define earned it. Because don't get me wrong, I will never negate the hard work Jeff Bezos put into Amazon. Like, no shit, that's very much...
His wife did a lot of hard work to become like the second largest trillionaire.
Nah, fuck.
She had to put up with him.
That is fucking ridiculous.
She had to like...
Look at how much money she got out of that divorce.
She had to lotion up that bald head every single morning.
You've seen South Park, right? Where they turn Jeff Bezos into this like all-knowing Professor X character.
I haven't seen South Park in
it's
years.
so fucking hilarious.
Since Nimmy.
$38 billion. Billion with a capital B.
It's not capitalized.
No,
No, fuck you. Hey, look up South Park Jeff Bezos so he gets an idea of it. It's fucking hilarious.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, so he doesn't even speak. He just like sends telepathic sounds. He's so fucking hilarious. Look at the videos real quick, see if we can pull something up. It's a quick little clip.
Do not mess with Jeff Bezos.
Usually ships in 4 to 6 weeks. I can make my own towels in 4 to 6 weeks. Mayor, you have a visitor. Not now, I'm having problems. But Mayor, it's Jeff Bezos.
You haven't seen this?
Founder and CEO
Nope.
of Amazon.
Oh, this shit is fucking gold. I'm gonna talk over it just so that you don't get fucking copyrighted.
Right on through here, Mr. Bezos.
Yeah.
Mr. Bezos, how great to see you again. How have you been?
You can turn it about to like 2025.
Oh, thank you. I guess you're here because of the strike.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
And like later in the episode, he starts fucking people up and using like telepathic abilities to fucking hurt people.
Would you like to know why Amazon is so successful? Because the customer is all that matters. Now orders are going unfulfilled all over the state of Colorado. That makes us look very bad. It makes you look very bad. Perhaps you should no longer.
Alright, you can kill it. And see, it's fucked up because, like, it's true. Like, they put the customer first, but they absolutely sacrifice their employees at the fucking altar.
Yeah, I remember the last. South Park is really pretty good with those type of things. Like, remember the stem cells one? When, like, that like, super rich person was eating, fetuses?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That was hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's fucking Christopher Reeve. They have Christopher Reeve eat fucking fetuses and he gets the stem cell. Yeah, that's a fucked up episode, but it's funny.
It's like then Cartman uses like stem cells to create another P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
Instead of saving Kenny.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
No, one of my favorites is when I think it's the South Park movie, and they're operating on Kenny, and they're like, we accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato.
That tongue-in-cheek shit is what makes South Park so good.
But,
I'm gonna have to
like-
rewatch it.
But like, I rip on Amazon, and like I agree. Like I think there gets to a point, and I don't know what that figure should be. And what scares me about regulating profits is because it's just, again, it's a slippery slope because I just don't fucking trust the government. But
I mean, what would the government do with all that tax money they got from Bezos? They would just go wage another war.
no, exactly, they'd fuck right off. But
They'd make like 4 more Tomahawk missiles.
I think it is.
What's the retail on Tomahawk missiles?
I think it's morally reprehensible to have a stupid amount of money, but like, I rip on Amazon, but dude, like, a lot of shit in this studio is funded by Amazon, and it's also, like, I mean, fuck.
Cost a Tomahawk missile.
Like, one of these cords that we're using is Amazon Basics. The fucking tripods are Amazon Basics. Like, it's fucking convenient.
Okay, so
That's not a lot of money.
a Tomahawk missile, one-time use, is $1.4 million.
I thought it was gonna be more, to be honest with you.
So, okay, let's say the U.S. government just taxes the shit out of trillionaires. What are they going to do with that money? What are they going to do with it? They're not going to help you and me. They're not going to help anyone but the top 1%. They're going to go wage another war in, like, Africa or some shit. The only thing that's stopping them from, like, going just guns blazing into, like, Qatar, they just don't got the money.
See, and I don't understand the logic. Like, obviously there's a lot of things behind the veil that we don't see, but like, why wouldn't you want to pump a stupid amount of money into your own country to make it better? Like, there's that one Democratic.
Why did we go to the Middle East? I mean, why did we go to the Middle East? Oil. protecting our assets.
Right, but so there was that Democratic candidate for this year's election, the primaries, Tulsi Gabbard. And her big thing, she's from Hawaii, and her big thing was that she wanted to pull out of the Middle East, and she brings up a number, a figure she was on Joe Rogan once or twice.
That was a good podcast.
Yeah, and because she was on once with Andrew Yang,
Yep.
and then she was on again with Jocko Willink.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings up a point where it's like, if we pull out of Afghanistan, we save like almost, I think it's 1.4 million, 1.2 million a month.
Not million.
Is what we spend over there? Yeah.
We do not spend $1 million a month.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
No, it's way more. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
It's like, let's look at the cost of war in the Middle East. Something like that. Because there's no way we spend 1.4 million. It's got to be way more than that.
Well, no, it's 1 million a month in Afghanistan alone.
Well, I'm just saying it has to be, that number seems way too low. Well, let's look at it. 5.4 trillion on wars in the Middle East since when?
That was published in 2019. Attachments spent over $2 trillion for the Iraq War.
3.6 billion a month.
Jesus.
See, there's 1.4 million. Tulsi.
Well, I doubt you'd ever give away the exact number.
Fucking hell. I mean, they're giving away right here. Thank you, Google. Crazy.
Dude.
Do you know what we could do with 3.6 billion?
In our poverty? Like legitimately
Okay, it's like
in
3.6 times 12. It's like 44.3-ish. Something along there. You could wipe out all of student debt at a minimum.
Yeah.
Wipe out student debt, invest millions into the economies of
Literally everything. It's stupid. Like, you couldn't fill this room. I don't think you could fill my condo with that much money. I think it's impossible. Well, look at how much square feet does $1 million take up?
like
Just $1 million.
square foot of $1 million.
Oh, right there. So it takes 39 cubic feet to house $1 million. Okay. So you get in $1 bills.
$1 bills.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, what I will say is the amount of money that we spend in Afghanistan in a month, you will not be able to fill this condo with that
Sickening.
much money. You will not be able to fill it with that much money. I wouldn't even know what to do with that much money. Like, what do you... Apparently you wage war. But like, what the...
Then you can buy your own, like, okay, it's so overinflated though, think about it. Okay, let's say, okay, so defense, I guess, contracting. Let's talk about defense contracting. The US government will always take the lowest bidder.
Facts.
What was that one movie with Jonah Hill?
Oh, War Dogs.
Yeah, such a good
I
movie.
haven't seen the movie in a long
It's
time.
fucking good. But the U.S. government contracting, just like how any other like government would work, it takes the lowest bidder. And guess what? The U.S. Army is not the lowest bidder.
The fuck no.
Absolutely not. Great movie. But the U.S. Army in no way, shape, or form is the lowest bidder. If you went out like 1,000 just average Joe, just enlisted men. And then you compare it to like 1,000 just, I guess, private security contractors. The private security contractor is going to be a hell of a lot more cheaper.
Well,
Hell of a lot cheaper.
in initial, like the basic training or whatever for the Army, and the initial gear you get issued, I think the value on one soldier is like $51,000 or some shit.
And you got to think about their salary, food, housing. And then the VA, I mean, you know more about the VA than I do. Just how much money is just misallocated over there.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that have to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But if you take that same money and just fucking paid off like some private security company to go guard the oil wells in Iraq, you know, it would save us so much money every single year. The only thing that would like be, I guess, bad or if let's put on the U.S. government is there's just a lack of responsibility, a lack of, what's the word I'm looking for?
I would say that there's
accountability.
There's a lot of inherent responsibility. They just don't give a fuck, and you're correct. There is no accountability. Because there's next to no accountability.
You even look like the U.S. military itself. There have been so many instances of like abuse of civilians over in Iraq, but so we're still getting that same, I guess, lack of accountability. But now we're getting it for cheaper.
Well, I mean, there was the incident of the Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher.
Yeah.
That like did his re-enlistment on a dead body.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be like, no, if that was a dead civilian, different story.
Yeah, no, if it's like just a dead combatant.
It's a dead enemy combatant. Like, here's my.
Do you know what they do with our dead combatants? They just parade around the streets.
Yeah, exactly. So my whole argument with that was like, okay, you have this guy who you have literally, because he was in the SEALs for what, like 15 years at the time, 20 years at the time. You've bred this dude to be a fucking savage, an absolute
stone cold killer,
the true definition of a war fighter, right? That's what you train this guy to do, and then you get surprised when he does savage shit. Mm-hmm. That's how the guy's fucking brain works.
It's like the army just breaks you the fuck down. The military in general just breaks you the fuck down, and then builds you up to be the person they want you to be. You can like speak on this more than I can.
Yeah, I just have a lot of friends in that community, so I guess. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Like the sense of individuality that you have when you go in is just stripped away.
Yeah, and I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the transformation that a lot of my friends that have gone through it, even before and after the basic training phase, let alone if they go on deployment, or they go to a really fucked up duty station, or they go to whatever it is. Yeah, there is an inherent breakdown of the individual, for good and bad, right? You need to act as a team, I would imagine. But like on the other hand, this sense of self, and again, that kind of brings back to my point of that the government should not be able to regulate your own consciousness. You need to have the ability to regulate yourself and make your own adult fucking decisions.
But no, held accountable for those decisions.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that kind of gets taken away when you have organizations like the police, the U.S. military, when they investigate themselves.
Oh yeah. Now there's
no accountability.
They need to get rid of, in my opinion, and I want to be able to sit down with a fucking cop. I understand why I haven't been able to, because they can't fucking,
just like put a black screen up. That shadow.
Right. But like
silhouette.
They in my point of view, you need to get rid of, by and large, you need to get rid of the police unions. At least until they can find a way to regulate themselves.
They need to get rid of qualified immunity.
Yeah, qualified immunity for sure. Oh, fuck yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
Qualified immunity for sure.
Guess who pays for those lawsuits? Taxpayers.
The fucking taxpayers.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so the definition of qualified immunity is a legal principle that grants government officials performing discretionary functions immunity from civil suits unless the plaintiff shows that the official violated, quote, clearly established statutory or constitutional rights of which a reasonable person would have known.
And I've worked in state governments, and their definitions of any legal principle can just be so manipulated and twisted. It's like you need to be like just looking at the officer right in the eye. You violated this statute at this time in the last 5 minutes during your interaction with me, and they need to accept that and be like, okay, I understand that. For them to be stripped of their qualified immunity. Otherwise, it's fair game.
Yep.
It's complete fair game.
Well, we're inching up on 2 hours.
Solid copy. You want to talk more about PS5s and all that?
Oh, maybe next time. We gotta go work out.
We do have to work out.
We gotta go.
I haven't worked out in like 4 days.
Oh, bro.
Fuck me.
Well, thank you for coming on.
It was fun.
Thank you for doing this, Briscoe. Thank you for manning the computer.
Thanks, Jamie.
Anytime.
I'm very, very happy to
Jamie
have all
too.
you here.
And we need to do this again next time you're in Albuquerque.
Oh,
Or next time I'm in Houston.
oh yeah.
Preferably in Houston, because fuck this place.
You gonna bring this whole setup?
Fuck yeah. Dude, I got a Pelican case upstairs to put all my shit in.
I think I saw that when I was snooping around.
Yeah. I have a Pelican case. So yeah, I'm ready to go, dude.
Fucking solid.
All right, man. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, we're on Spotify. So follow the YouTube, follow the Facebook, keep listening on Spotify. Thanks, guys. You have a good night. See ya.